While the Royals have had trouble this year with last-place teams, they have thrived against first-place teams. The Yankees, White Sox, and the Texas Rangers. They have the best record in the league and visit Kauffman Stadium for a 4-game series beginning today on Fox Sports Kansas City. Royals baseball comes to you from Kauffman Stadium on a blazing hot Labor Day, and the Royals begin a 4-game series with the Texas Rangers. Hi, everyone. I'm Ryan Lefevre. Welcome back to the ballpark, and happy Labor Day. The Royals have had a very good homestand so far. They are 4-2 against the Detroit Tigers, a second-place team, and the Minnesota Twins, and now the Texas Rangers. And so far, as we bring in Rex Hudler, the Royals are 3-2 in the season series with the Rangers. The Rangers come to town with the best batting average in the league, and they score the most runs.
Hey, 1 through 9, they're a dominant lineup like any AL powerhouse. But especially Hamilton. He's the Major League Baseball leader in RBIs with 113. And I'm going to tell you, he'll go deep left, center, or right. But then you got to contend with Beltre. 9 home runs since August 1st. He is their leader offensively and defensively and in the clubhouse. This is a tough team.
Bruce Chen pitches for the Royals today, coming off 8 scoreless innings against the Tigers. And back in May, he held the Rangers to just 1 run in 6 2/3 innings. Royals baseball is brought to you by your Kansas City Chevy dealers, the official vehicle of the Kansas City Royals. And by the Missouri Lottery. When you play, students win. Yu Darvish pitches for the Rangers. Joel and Monty will preview him when we come back.
Tony Abreu getting it done yesterday for the Royals as he had 3 RBIs, and back in there at shortstop today to face Darvish, the 26-year-old who has set a Rangers rookie record for wins in a season last time out on Tuesday with 13. Joel Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery. All right, can I just say, how are you doing? I mean, how's you doing? All right, fine, forget that one. How about the arsenal of Darvish? Not your typical one, right?
Not typical, Joe. He's going to throw literally everything except the kitchen sink at the Kansas City Royals. He has a 2-seam fastball, a 4-seam fastball, a cut fastball, a curveball, a changeup, a slider, and a splitter. So he's going to throw a little bit of everything. And by the way, he will change arm angles on top of that. So very important for the Royals hitters not to chase those pitches out of the strike zone today.
All right, so a little bit different then. How's you doing? We will find out. The Royals face him for the first time ever. Holiday baseball coming up next. Ryan and Rex have the call.
Internet and home phone provider of the Kansas City Royals. And the first place Texas Rangers are in town for a 4-game series. They just took 2 out of 3 at Cleveland. The Rangers have spent 148 days in first place. They have had a lead as high as 6.5 games, and now 3 over Oakland and 8.5 over the Angels. And the Rangers lead the league in team batting average, in runs scored, and on base percentage. And they are 6th in the league in home runs. And Bruce Chen throws a breaking ball outside, and ball 1 to Ian Kinsler.
Okay, Bruce has his work cut out for him, but you know what? Bruce doesn't care. He's not a bit nervous.
Giavotella backpedals out into shallow right field. And Kinsler is out, number 1. Here's the key report for Bruce today.
Okay, you mentioned they can hit homers. Keep it in the yard, Bruce. When the Rangers, when they hit a homer, they're 61 and 32. When they don't hit a homer, they're 18 and 21. Interesting. Don't let the defense rest. The Royals have been errorless in 5 of their last 6 games during this homestand. They've been good. And make it a September to remember, Bruce. Finish strong, my man. And if it's any indication of his last outing, he should be really good. Keeps the ball down. It's important. These guys will hit it out of the park. Mix them up, all kinds of pitches. We all know Bruce. It's fun to watch him dissect a big league lineup. This is a powerful championship lineup, and when Bruce is on his game, it's fun to watch him.
He was on his game on Wednesday. That was the last start you were talking about, Hud. 8 scoreless innings, a season high 8 innings for Bruce against the Tigers in a 1-0 win. And it wasn't a game where he just breezed through the day. 4 times the Tigers had the leadoff man on. Twice it was a leadoff double, so he had to do his share of pitching to pitch around some trouble, and that's what he did.
But that's when a really good starter executes, and you see him hit his best when runners get in scoring position.
Long run for Kane, and then he slams into the screen. And you could understand if he staggered a bit into a full sprint to make the play on the warning track, and before he could look up to see where he was face to face with the wall.
And he's no stranger to that wall. Early in the season, that put him on the DL, but look, good focus here. He's like a wide receiver getting ready to take a hit across the middle after you catch the ball. Good focus. He took a little bit of a different route there as he adjusted right at the end of that catch. It allowed him to make it. The fact that he left his feet to hit the wall also helps him cushion the blow.
So that means that Josh Hamilton comes up with 2 outs and nobody on.
Okay, we're gonna check this now. Well, look where he is up at the top of your screen. He's gonna cover some serious ground.
1 ball, 1 strike, and Andrews, who hit that ball, has just 2 home runs this year, so he's not a power hitter. So Kane had a lot of ground to cover running toward right center field, plus he was shallow.
And did you see he was positioned in right center, so that helped him. They already had an idea he might hit the ball that way. That's Rusty Kuntz, the outfield coordinator, who lines those guys up.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Hamilton.
Rangers are 23-16 against lefties this year. That's a good mark, and their .288 average is a good mark as well. So they'll be giving Bruce a handful.
Got the call. Hamilton thought it was inside. Mike Everett calls it a strike, and the Rangers are down in order in the first. Upper 90s today. We started right on time at 1:10. Time and temp is brought to you by the parking spot at KCI. And a look at the Royals lineup today. They are facing Darvish for the first time. It'll be the 3rd straight game that David Lowe leads off in right field. 4 out of 10 in his first 2 major league games. Tony Abreu will be at shortstop. Alcides Escobar gets the day off. Brian Pena behind the plate with Bruce Chen on the mound, and Johnny Giavotella will be at second base. And here is Darvish pitching out of the stretch to begin the game. Royals should be used to that. They faced Esmerling Vasquez of the Minnesota Twins yesterday, who was making his first major league start after 141 relief appearances, and he pitched exclusively out of the stretch.
Oh, you know, some guys are more comfortable doing that, and so you want your pitcher to be comfortable, just like a hitter when he starts. You want him to do what feels best. Did you see the break on that curveball there? Well, that's a hammer. And like Monty so well described, Darvish, the way he's got all these pitches, those sliders and breaking balls will be tough to lay off of.
And it takes just 3 pitches for Darvish to strike out David Lowe.
Yeah, he's a very effective guy. I mean, he's got a really smooth delivery, 3 different kind of fastballs, a 4-seamer, 2-seamer. He'll cut it, slider, curve, and a split finger. But you see their defense sponsored by Ford. I want to talk about David Murphy. This guy is quietly having a career year and one of the best seasons out of the whole Rangers lineup. He's only aired 1 time in left field, but he can play any of the spots out there. But he's having an offensive season. He won't forget. Now they're checking out the sun. They're checking out the way the wind's blowing. It's a slight breeze today blowing from the right field foul pole to the left. But sun will play an issue in the game. Will be an issue.
1-1 on Tony Abreu, who had a big game yesterday. There are the flags above the hill in right field. Abreu 3 hits and 3 RBIs yesterday in the win over the Twins. And both times he drove in runs, he put the Royals in front. 2 balls and 1 strike against Darvish.
Yu's going to come out pitching. Okay, he's not going to come out throwing, challenging guys with his fastball. He's going to give you everything he's got early, and that's his nature. Pitching in the Japanese leagues, those guys, they like to nibble. They don't like to come right at guys unless they have to.
He still has some nibble in him, however.
He does.
And he has walked 82 this year, so that's the one number that stands out when you look at his line. Otherwise, all the other numbers are very impressive. And Abreu didn't get a very good swing. Darvish, among other things, is a good fielder, and he gets to the bag in front of Abreu. Didn't get a great feed, and there are 2 down.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what, the play was made by Olt, though. Man, that's a difficult coming in like that on a swinging bunt, and you gotta turn your body and underhand toss it towards first. I didn't think he was going to make that play. But that's good timing, and look at Darvish's right foot right on the edge of the base. That's the perfect place to put your foot. Wow, they're tight so far. That's a nice play. Oh, he's a third baseman, so I'm going to give him a couple extra stars for that play.
Alex Gordon with 2 down. And against the Tigers and the Twins on this homestand, 8 hits and 4 RBIs. And a fastball for a strike. 92 miles an hour.
Okay, coming in full speed. Now you glove it, and now you have to go against your body and throw it up the line. I mean, if you don't time the throw just right, it's going to be up and you're going to miss it. And sometimes a play like that can make a difference in the game. If you don't make the play, the opponents sometimes will capitalize on that. But the fact that he did stopped any kind of momentum the Royals could gain.
And a slow roller out to Kinsler at second base. So Darvish and Chen both retire the side in order. No score at the end of 1.
telling you what, Bruce Chin, he loves his defense. So do the Royals pitchers as a whole. Sponsored by Ford, you see what they got out there. Johnny's back in there, Tio. But I want to talk about Tony Abreu. Abreu, and this is his 9th game. He hasn't aired yet. He's played third, second, and short flawlessly. Tester right here.
And Hosmer right in front of the Royals dugout. One pitch, and down goes Adrian Beltre.
Well, you take that any day of the week against a hot hitter like him. But Abreu has done everything they have expected him to do and then some. With his offense, the way he makes contact, but the fact that he's been able to make great starts at third, short, and second and play flawless defense and make all the routine plays and some great ones means he might have a future here.
Ball 1-2, Nelson Cruz. Well, Bruce Chen has retired the first 4 today. 2 balls, no strikes.
Another thing besides Bruce's velocity that's allowed him to pitch deeper into games is his tempo. I really love his tempo. He's getting the ball, he's throwing it. He's not giving the defense any time to sit out there and play groundskeeper and smooth out the dirt out there and think about different things. They have to focus on Bruce because he's moving so quickly, and that's good.
And that gets the inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Like the team, Bruce had a very poor July, but here's what he's done in his last 3 starts in the month of August. 3 balls and 2 strikes against Cruz. The 8 scoreless innings on Wednesday. Before that, 3 runs at Boston in 6 innings, and then 2 against the White Sox in 6 innings, and just 1 home run along the way. Home runs really hurt Bruce in the month of July, and that's his first walk and the Rangers' first base runner of the afternoon.
He only had 1 walk in his last outing where he went 8 innings. Okay, but Bruce, you see, he kind of quickened up his delivery there a little bit. Looked like it was a quick pitch. Now he wanted it on the outer half, but it looked like that ball might have crossed the plate somewhere.
And in for a strike 2, Michael Young. Michael Young batting .267 with just 4 home runs and just 53 RBIs. He drove in 106 last year for the Rangers. 0-2.
Well, he might be down a little bit in his numbers that are typical for Mike Young, but the guy who's hitting behind him is making up for it. So, look, you're not going to be on top of your game every single year. But Michael Young has been a steady ball player in his career with the Rangers and a huge leader.
I was talking to one of the Texas Rangers announcers before the game, and he clearly said it is Michael Young's clubhouse. And not because he wants it that way, just because everybody looks to him and has for a long time. Shallow center field. Lorenzo Cain was over toward right center, so he runs across center, makes the play. Cruz is back to first, and there are 2 down.
Man, you know what? Day game baseball, it doesn't get any better. It's a great time to come out and play, especially when it's not overly hot. It's 90 degrees. Baseball's played in a warm climate. That's the way it's supposed to be. I kind of like to get back out there myself, but I wasn't very good when I was a player. So, by golly, I can't be dreaming about things that aren't going to happen. But it's fun.
And if you were to run out there right now, you might be escorted off in handcuffs.
There would be a good chance of that.
David Murphy. He had an important day yesterday in Cleveland. He had at least 2 plate appearances. Murphy, most of his career, has been a 4th outfielder, but by getting 2 plate appearances yesterday, he is now a qualifying hitter, so his name started popping up everywhere among the league leaders. He wasn't in there before because he didn't have the at-bats, but since the All-Star break, he is batting .368. He has a .405 batting average this year with runners in scoring position. That leads the league. He has a .395 batting average this year against left-hand pitching. That leads the league.
And what's amazing about that stat is he's a left-handed batter. And that tells me that he's able to keep his front side closed. He's not getting fooled on too many breaking balls. And he's able to shorten up his swing like that last one with 2 strikes. Puts the ball in play. Look at Pena sitting way out there.
Bruce comes in sidearm.
And what makes Bruce so difficult to hit too is he'll throw that sidearm fastball there, and he'll also throw a curve from the sidearm spot. So for the hitter to pick up his release point, that's important, but you're getting 2 different, sometimes 3 different pitches out of that.
One ball, 2 strikes. And Bruce pitched an excellent game on May the 14th at Texas. Texas had just come off an emotional series with the Angels, and they came out hacking against Bruce Chen, and they played right into his strength. A lot of big swings, a lot of swinging early in the count, a lot of swinging at pitches up and out of the strike zone. And the final result was this: 1 earned run in 6 2/3 innings with 7 strikeouts. And the Royals ended up sweeping that 2-game series. And that's through the right side. Another base hit for Murphy. Cruz will hold at second base. And the Rangers have 2 on with 2 out.
Okay, there he is. Now Murphy, he fouled off a couple of borderline pitches to the opposite field like a good hitter will do, and then he waits for a mistake. And there's one out over, and he just slapped it right by Gio.
Here's another Gio. Giovanni Soto, former National League Rookie of the Year with the Cubs. And he is the regular catcher at the moment. Mike Napoli has been out with a quad injury, which he played with for a long time after the All-Star break, and still down with that and not even out on a rehab assignment. So right now the job is Soto's. The Rangers have been remarkably healthy. Now they've got a talented team, but health always seems to come into play. They've only had 2 position players go on the disabled list all year, and they didn't have 1 player go on the disabled list this season until May 21st.
Wow, what's Ron Washington feeding their guys? I mean, that's when you're able to stay healthy like that, no wonder you're going to put up the numbers and be consistent. But I'll tell you what, though, Ron Washington, whatever he is feeding them, they're buying into it. Not only food-wise, but also mentally. And he's a former ball player himself, so he has a baseball player's mentality.
And that pitch stayed up. Giovanni Soto drives it to the wall in left center field, and it hit the railing behind the wall for a 3-run home run.
th home run now given up to a right-handed batter off of Bruce. Okay, the walk to Cruz, the hit by Murphy, and now the home run to Soto. Didn't know if he got it all, but obviously it was over the wall by about 3 feet. You could tell it had the height.
And now a huge swing by Mike Olt. No balls, 1 strike. Mike Olt had just been called up when the Rangers were here last month, almost exactly a month ago. And he got his first 2 major league RBIs here at Kauffman Stadium. Texas Rangers first-round pick just 2 years ago out of UConn. And as Hud pointed out, when he made a nice defensive play in the bottom of the 1st inning, he is a third baseman who is playing first base at the moment for the Rangers. Bruce comes back after the home run and strikes out Olt, his 2nd strikeout of the day. The The Rangers take a 3-0 lead on the Soto home run. On Friday, September 14th, Royals and the Angels, and the Royals are going to salute some of our minor league players. Royals minor league system continues to be one of the best in baseball. Select players will be available for autographs before the game. Go to Royals.com or call 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. Again, that's Futures Night, Friday, September 14th. Darvish retired Lowe, Abreu, and Gordon in the first, and now Billy Butler, Mike Moustakas, and Lorenzo Cain in the second. Billy has 10 hits on the homestand with 4 runs driven in, giving him 85 on the year, but still stuck at 99 career home runs.
Yeah, well, you know, you talk about our minor leaguers that fans can see. The Rangers already went ahead and brought up one of their guys yesterday. This kid Profar. Wow, 19 years young. First at bat in the big leagues? Come on, it's not that easy. But you know what? The pie in the face was certainly easy. Given to him by one of his heroes, Andrus, the shortstop.
And here's a little statistic that'll make everybody feel a little older today. Jurickson Profar is the first major leaguer that was born in 1993. Which seems like about 7 years ago. He was born in 93 and now hitting home runs in the big leagues.
Wow. It's a young man's game.
He became just the 3rd teenager in Major League history to hit a home run in his first at bat, and the first since 1950.
Not easy to do.
And today you can just kind of sit back and watch the Rangers and the Royals.
With his sunglasses on and no hat on.
Darvish gets Billy Butler to go out of the strike zone. And that's Darvish's second strikeout.
Yep, he'll pitch up that 4-seam fastball very effectively. He'll reach 96 miles an hour. He has that in his tank.
Strike one to Mike Moustakas, who has a 6-game hitting streak, and just like Gordon and Butler, Moustakas has had a good homestand after a tough road trip. He's come back here. He has 10 hits, 4 of those doubles, and 5 driven in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Darvish, now he got the major leagues by storm and by surprise because it was his first year. And in April through June, 10-4, an ERA of about 3.5. But slowly the league has caught up to him. Plus, there have been several teams who have faced him more than once, so they have a better idea of what he throws. And his earned run average in July and August has been almost 5.5.
Well, offenses are waiting him out a little bit. They're making him come to them. Hitters aren't swinging to his pitches. Now, the Royals, first time they ever faced him, first time through the order is going to be important. They can see as many pitches as possible so they can go back and tell each other in the dugout what you saw. Guys that are in the lineup, stay out there in the dugout and watch how Yu's working the rest of the hitters. You don't go up underneath and watch TV because you're not seeing the game in action, how he's getting your buddies out. It's important you stay out there and you watch what Yu's doing.
And that pitch riding away, a hard two-seamer. Now he has 3 strikeouts, 2 down in the second inning.
He's got east and west movement. That two-seamer that goes in to the righties and away and to the lefties, and also that little slider comes in, so he's got some pitches that are working for him.
A reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. And we may have already experienced Miller Time as far as defense goes when Lorenzo Cain ran down a drive from Elvis Andrus in the first inning. This is a fastball away, strike 1.
Okay, like the last minute adjustment that he made. Turned a little bit more towards center, but he's an athlete. That's a heck of a play.
Boy, 20-mile-per-hour difference in those two pitches. A fastball in the mid-90s, followed by a curveball at 70 miles an hour.
It's taking a page out of Bruce Chin's chapter there. What he can do. Slows it down.
Soto and Alt in front of the Royals dugout. And it's Mike Alt to make the play. And Yu Darvish has retired the first 6 Royals today.
Here covering this game than what we usually see. The press box is absolutely full, and that is because Yu Darvish is on the hill. About 16 to 20 regular members of the Japanese press corps cover every single one of his starts. And really interesting, guys, because the Texas Rangers telling me they issue about 50 season credentials for spring training every year for the Dallas media as first pitch pop up there. And Eric Hosmer is going to pull it in. usually 50 season credentials for spring training. This year, they issued 200 of them. So all the media wanting to see Yu Darvish, and yes, there are a couple other Japanese players on the team too, in Koji Uehara and Yoshinori Tateyama. Maybe that gives him a little something to write about on days Yu doesn't pitch. Yu talks to the media twice a week. Once after his start, he will do an actual press conference after Ned Yost does his after the game, and then he talks to the media a couple of days before he starts, talking to one of the members of the Japanese media guys, and she said that Ichiro probably still the biggest over there in Japan, especially now that he plays for the Yankees, but it is a close 1-2 with Ichiro and Darvish.
All right, thanks, Joel. This game is being broadcast live back to Japan. Every one of you Darvish's starts with the Japanese announcers in Japan calling the game off the screen, but they're getting the live feed. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Elvis Andrus, and Joel touched on it. Ichiro Suzuki's past his prime, but still a bigger name over there. Hideki Matsui, it looks like his major league career is over.
I was going to bring up Hideki. Hideki, he was a rock star there for a long time. When you talk about the media, he would take the media out to dinner once a month. Imagine the bill for that, because there's 25, 30 people. He would take them out, have a little round table.
Andrews grounds it to Abreu, 2 down in the 3rd inning. And now Josh Hamilton, who wasn't very happy with the home plate umpire when he struck out in the 1st inning.
And he wasn't very happy the last time he was at the K, last time in. He had a problem with Pettis, or Pettis had a problem with him. And they were going at it over there at first base. And then later in the inning, he got thrown out at 3rd and had some problems with Anderson. That ball's hit well.
Right center field, and that's the 2nd home run of the day for the Rangers. Bruce Chen had gone 15 innings without allowing a home run, and he's given up 26 now this year, so he was really keeping that number to a minimum. But now a 3-run home run from Soto in the 2nd, and Hamilton with his 38th here in the 3rd.
Okay, hanging breaking ball, and he was able to time it and just put a nice, easy, level swing. It hung up there a little bit for him. And when you're a home run hitter, you recognize that pitch and you know the swing. Eyes tell your hands what to do, and the ball was on the inner half, right there in the middle.
And now Beltre, shallow right. David Lowe is there, and he makes the play to the bottom of the 3rd inning, and the Rangers have a 4-0 lead. for another Buck Night and Fireworks Friday. Hot dogs, peanuts, and soft drinks are just $1. And then after the game, Friday night fireworks presented by Hy-Vee and Pepsi. That's the Royals and the Angels. And you can get your tickets at Royals.com or 1-800-6-ROYALS. As Eric Hosmer jumps on the first pitch. And a 3-1 scoring play is the first out of the bottom of the third as we bring in Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery. Now, Monty in his prime, you could make some comparisons between you and Darvish, because you threw the same array of pitches, didn't you?
I threw a lot of pitches, and I threw from the stretch like he does solely from the stretch. So, but what's different about this guy is he's got pitches that go every direction you can imagine. I think he looks very polished on the mound. Looks like he's been there, done that. So he's a guy that I think has a bright future here in the States as far as his baseball career is concerned as well.
Now, when you were really feeling it, Monty, how many different pitches were you throwing?
Well, I had 4 pitches, but like Darvish, I would throw a couple of different fastballs, and I really never had the ability to add and subtract the way that he does. I think the thing that he does so well is you see the variety going from like a 70 mile all the way up to 95, 96 miles an hour. So that's what I think really separates him.
Pitching from the stretch for a starter, I said it's a comfort thing. Obviously, he's comfortable doing that. Is that why you would go from the stretch?
No, not really. I did it because it eliminated the chance for things to go wrong. It really tightens up the mechanics as far as the less moving parts. And as a pitcher, you want to get to a balance point regardless if you do it from the windup or from the stretch. But I always found that pitching from the windup, you had more of a tendency to at times get off on the timing. You would rush your delivery, your left shoulder would fly open, and the ball would elevate. So when I started pitching from the stretch, I had a better chance of staying compact, staying tight, and staying on top of the ball.
1-2 on Brian Pena.
And at 6'5", 220 pounds, there's a lot of moving parts there.
There are a lot of moving parts, and one thing I learned about this guy is he has the ability to make a lot of adjustments. He makes adjustments during the game. He's learned how to really keep that 6'5" body compact and not have a lot of moving parts the way that a big guy like, think a Randy Johnson, a lot of going on with a Randy Johnson, a taller guy like that. But Darvish, he keeps things nice and tight, nice and compact.
And he has 4 strikeouts as he gets Brian Pena 2 down in the third.
Yeah, you see he's really nice and tight. That's the balance point right there. Then he starts going forward. He keeps everything going toward home plate, and he's on top of the ball. And so if you're 6'5" and you're throwing downhill, that really accentuates the downward movement, and that's why he has a lot of success.
So if you haven't faced him before, as a hitter, I'm hoping that they can see more pitches, but really he's coming in throwing strikes, and his ball is moving unbelievably. Look at that. That's a really sneaky fastball out of that delivery.
Everything's down. I talked with Steve Busby, the Rangers broadcaster, earlier about him, and he said the one reason his walk total was up, that the first time through the league, a lot of guys were chasing pitches out of the strike zone, and now a lot of the teams that have seen him more than once, they're making him throw the ball in the strike zone, and he's doing that nicely today. But a lot of the teams that have seen him more than once now, they're laying off a lot of those real quality pitchers type pitches, and that, as a result, his walk total is up.
None today, but 82 in 157 innings.
Okay, he's facing Kane here. Watch this. Look at that. That's a perfect spot there.
That's what you call filthy.
Oh. Okay, slow curve. Now, the one he got him out on there was 64-mile-an-hour curve.
It's a little bit like Joaquin Soria. Got that separation of 30-plus miles an hour in the fastball and the off-speed pitches. Yeah, I really didn't know what to expect. You've heard a lot about Darvish coming in. Obviously he's a rookie here, but he had great success in Japan. And but from what we have seen early today, through these 2+ innings, he's very polished.
One and two on Giavotella.
Another thing that Steve Busby mentioned was the fact that he will, like Bruce Chen, he will drop the different arm angles with a variety of his pitches. And again, that creates, if he throws 6 or 7 different pitches, that almost makes double the amount of pitches that hitters have to be prepared for and have to be looking for. Two and two.
Now, Hud, you played over there. he is atypical as far as the Japanese style of pitching, right? I mean, as far as power goes.
As far as power goes, but you know, a lot of Japanese pitchers have that delay in their delivery where they have a little bit of sense of trickery. Now I'm watching him. He doesn't have any pauses or anything, but just that change of speeds and the fact that he's got command. He's showing it right here.
Very unorthodox.
Runs against Bruce Chen. Let's go to the second inning, and here's Giovanni Soto.
You're right. It looks like he just almost got a little lax on his breaking ball, didn't finish it up. It ends up staying right in the middle part of the plate, and that's obviously a recipe for damage right there for the Texas Rangers.
That was a 77 mile per hour to Soto and a 74 mile per hour to Hamilton right out over the middle of the plate.
Right, and Bruce Chen had actually in his last start worked on a much slower breaking ball, and he had some success with it, but I think the tendency, if you're going to slow down your breaking balls, you have to make it finish out of the strike zone. If you have that pitch finishing in the strike zone, it's just kind of rolling, and it's essentially like a hanging slider. You're trying to make it not have that real tight rotation or kind of roll it in there, but the best time to throw that is as a show pitch. You want to bounce it, maybe get a guy to chase it with 2 strikes, but it's not a pitch you want to try to get an out with in the middle of the plate.
Like here. Look where Pena's calling for it. Yeah, anywhere out, especially when you're ahead 0-2.
Well, we've seen Joakim Soria with that real slow pitch, but it's a pitch that almost drops down below the hitting zone when he was throwing that pitch effectively. But if you're going to throw it, you can't finish in the plate or in the strike zone with it.
That pitch was up, but Cruz fouls it back. Still 2-2.
Cruz is wearing those amber lenses too. Those are yellow lenses that actually brighten the background up, and you can sometimes hitters will tell you they see the ball better with that color lens. But any sunglasses on day games are very helpful. Cuts the glare down. You don't have to squint your eyes as much. It really takes the pressure off of your eyes and your face, and helps the fielders and the hitters.
There's a slow curve that's pulled foul.
Rex, that really kind of goes back to when we were playing early in our careers when they came out with those elliptical lenses, and instead of flip downs, the fielders would wear where you have to flip them down every time. You can wear them during a batch. You can wear them in the field. You don't have to really play around a lot with those.
Yeah, no, and I remember that was like in the early 90s when they came out, and what a difference it made. Spring training, where it's always bright and sunny and windy, and I remember putting those things on and I went, wow, where have these been? You can wear them all the time. Don't have to worry about flipping them up and flipping them down.
Plus, you don't have to worry about a guy calling timeout in the middle of an inning and having to run his flip downs out to him. You can just wear them all the time.
Cruz is very comfortable. I can tell. He's very comfortable in there. He's just looking out over the plate for anything. Fastballs or breaking balls with 2 strikes here. And that's why it's important for Bruce to be able to pitch inside. Drop breaking balls at their feet. Don't let him be comfortable in there. So he's looking to tee off right now.
Yeah, I think when Bruce Chen is at his best, you're going to see a lot of right-handed hitters hitting balls over the third base dugout, and a lot of left-handed hitters hitting foul balls over the first base dugout, because he's pitching inside effectively, with effect, and finding a way to get the hitters off. Then he can go and just kind of drop those pitches on the outside part of the plate and get pop-ups, swing and misses. So I think inside is very important for Bruce Chen to be able to pitch inside.
And that's where Brian Pena sets up. And it's inside for a ball after 6 straight foul balls. This is an 11 pitch at bat so far for Cruz.
No, he's totally comfortable. He knows that inside pitch. He spit on it.
Alex is back in left field and runs it down, 1 away in the 4th. Not much of a comparison when it comes to velocity on the radar gun. 97 for Yu Darvish so far. Bruce Chen up to 89. You can get downloads up to 50 megabits per second with Time Warner Cable Ultimate Internet. And there's a good changeup to Michael Young. Seems like the Rangers have decided today that they're not going to let Bruce get ahead in the count.
Yeah,
a lot of early swings.
Yeah, and you know what? That's really good adjusting from pitch to the time they faced Bruce last to now. They studied the film. They saw he was getting ahead early, and now they're executing their plan on Bruce.
Off the end of the bat, Giavotella runs it down behind second base, and Michael Young is 0 for 2. Texas Rangers in first place by 3 games in the West. And in our Sprint You Call It question for today, who will win the American League West? Rangers have the best record in the American League. The Oakland A's just won't go away. And the Los Angeles Angels are slowly going away. 8.5 games out. Text 432-432. Enter keyword Royals followed by a space. A, B, or C. Let's start with you, Monty.
Well, I know the Oakland Athletics have the most difficult schedule remaining down the stretch, so I think it's going to be tough for them to overtake the Rangers. I still think they're going to stay in there till the end. I think they're going to compete for the division, and I think they'll get a wild card, but I think the Rangers are going to win this thing.
Bud?
Yeah, I'm for the Rangers, especially because they have unfinished business with their window closing. They went to the World Series 2 times in a row, and they didn't capture what they want. Their window is closing, and they're running out of time. I'm going to say they're going to go ahead and win the West.
Murphy the other way, and Kane can't cut it off, so it'll roll deep. And David Murphy is 2 for 2.
Telling you what makes him so good is that he's wide open to start. He sees the ball well, and then he hits it where it's pitched against lefties. To have that kind of average, he's right mechanically, and he's having a tremendous season.
Yeah, he looks very comfortable, like you mentioned, especially against the left-handed pitchers.
And here's Soto. He hit a 3-run home run with 2 outs in the 2nd inning, his 3rd since joining the Rangers. And Bruce pitches him inside for ball 1.
But Napoli, he's their guy. I mean, he's the guy that he's got 17 home runs this year in a down year, but he's a guy that he can throw up some instant runs with one swing of the bat.
And that ball hit hard to left center. Kane is back again, and he makes the play in another ballpark. That's Soto's 2nd home run of the day. Here, it's a long out. Thank you, Monty. The to the bottom of the fourth. Rangers lead 4-0. Baseball is brought to you by your Midwest Ford dealer and by AT&T, the world's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. A hot Labor Day in Kansas City, and after all that rain, temperatures cooled down into the 70s and into the 80s, low 90s yesterday, and it's going to be another hot week. The Royals are here through Thursday against the Rangers, finishing off a 10-game homestand. And then the Royals go on the road to Chicago and Minnesota. David Lowe after the first pitch, and Hamilton didn't see it. And coming over from right is Cruz. Well, maybe he didn't see it, but he was going right to the spot where the ball was going to land. But he made it very clear early on to Cruz that he did not see it.
Seeing Cruz has a different angle, and they played together for so many years that they know each other, and Hamilton let Cruz take it. Second time through the order for the Royals. See if they can get a base hit on it. Yu's been perfect.
Retired the first 10. And a strike to Abreu. Out on a ground ball in the first inning. A good play by the first baseman Olt, coming in to get the slow roller. And now he grounds it to Olt again. A much easier play, and Darvish is to the bag for the second out. Coming up in a couple of nights, we'll have another Ink Student Night and Local Music Showcase. That's every Wednesday. Just show your valid student ID at the box office. You'll get a $7 ticket. And make sure to get here early for live local music and drink specials in the outfield experience before the game. Go to Royals.com/student night for tickets. Darvish got Alex on a ground ball to second base in the first inning. And when the Royals start getting base runners today, don't be surprised if they use their running game against Darvish. The league this year is 20 out of 22 against him in stolen base attempts. He is not very good at holding runners.
Well, let's hope that the Royals can get some guys on, because the way he's executing his pitches and the way the Royals are being aggressive, especially the second time through, he only threw 3 pitches of the first 2 hitters. They're going to make it easy for him if they keep making early count outs.
Two and one.
Second time through, maybe they wait him out a little bit, not swing at some of those pitches that he's trying to throw around the plate.
And there's that cut fastball. Doesn't break much, but the hitter thinks it's right down the middle of the plate. He unloads its swing, and to Alex, the ball just diving in on him a few inches.
Yep, he's going to change speeds with those off-speed pitches too, which makes it even tougher on the hitters.
And Alt, a diving play on the right side. Darvish is to the bag. So another good defensive play by the third baseman, Mike Alt, who's playing at first. And Darvish has 4 perfect innings.
Some are still wearing them. Perhaps Rex is too. Let's take a look at some news and notes from around the league. How about the Detroit Tigers sweeping the White Sox? They've had their number up in Detroit, and that now a tie in the American League Central. Steven Strasburg, been a lot of talk about it. Best team in baseball. Their ace will now, they say, be shut down September 12th for the year. And Alex Rodriguez returning off the disabled list to the New York Yankees, and that perhaps much needed, guys, for the Yankees, as their margin has really closed up to just 2 games ahead of Baltimore, and they're in Tampa Bay right now for a series that begins today.
All right, thanks, Joel. 2 balls and no strikes from Bruce Chen to Mike Alt. He struck out in the 2nd inning. He's already had a very good game on defense, and he pulls that into the left field corner. And that is a foul ball. Very close. That's a tough call for the umpire because the ball actually goes over the foul pole, not across the foul pole, either to the fair ball or the foul ball side. Paul Schreiber.
Yeah, that's Paul's call, and he did a good job there. Ron Washington, he got up on the top step just to watch that ball go out in case he did feel like they needed to replay it.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Alt. And Bruce strikes him out again. So that's 3 on the day and 1 away in the 5th. Back to Joel.
Well, Ryan, the Royals had a wraparound series last week, and that's when you play the weekend and then continue the series against the same team on Monday. This is a wraparound series, too, not for the Royals or the Rangers, but the umpiring crew, and we don't see that too often, but Mike Everett, Laz Diaz, Tim Welke, Paul Schreiber are here today. They did all 3 games in the Minnesota series, so just continuing their rotation like it's a 4-game series. They will leave after this game, and a new crew will come in for the final 3 games of this series. Basically just a scheduling deal with the holiday. Those guys don't travel charter the way the major league teams do, and so a chance from a scheduling standpoint for them to stand still, and we'll see a new group in here tomorrow.
All right. Ian Kinsler is 0 for 3 as he flies out to Alex Gordon left field, and Rangers just continue to come up to the plate, and they're hacking right away against Bruce Chen.
They are, and that's okay with Bruce. 73 pitches already thrown.
Elvis Andrus, a tough luck 0 for 2 today. Lost an extra base hit on the defensive play of the game, turned in by Lorenzo Cain, making a play in deep right center field and then crashing into the fence. This is the third time through for the Rangers, and just looking at Bruce's trends, first time he has the most trouble, and the Rangers scored 3 of their 4 runs first time through, and then about a .250 opponent's batting average from that point on.
Less than 10 seconds between pitches for Bruce.
There isn't a game where the defense doesn't appreciate that, but they really appreciate it on a day like today.
Sure do.
Get a slow pitcher out there wondering why his defense doesn't make the plays for him in a days like today. Well, they're just standing out there melting. 4 strikeouts. Bruce gets the side in order for the first time since the first. Halfway home, Texas leads the Royals 4-0. As Royals players will come out to help underprivileged kids in the Kansas City area. We'll be at Rally House in North Kansas City. That's near I-29 and 152 highway. And we'll be out there from 6 to 8 p.m. Again, that's Monday, September 17th. And here are some of the players that will be there. Alcides Escobar, Salvador Perez, Johnny Giavotella, Kelvin Herrera, Luis Coleman, Chris Getz, and others. So we hope you can join us Monday, September 17th.
Ryan, you spearheaded that 10 years ago. What got you into that great deal to give kids gloves?
Well, let's see. What's the short version of the story? It was the idea came up when the RBI program began. That's when we first started talking about it, as baseball was trying to get more inner city kids playing baseball as opposed to basketball and football. And we thought, what's a way we could give back to the community? It was actually an idea I had before I came to Kansas City, and get the kids to start playing baseball. And we thought, well, a good start would be for them to get a good quality glove in their hand, not a giveaway glove that falls apart after a week or so. But the more we talked about it, some friends of mine, we realized that no matter what the age, Whether it's a little leaguer or a Hall of Fame major leaguer, everybody has a story about their first glove. So let's try and be part of that first story.
That's awesome. Hope you folks come out and participate in that just for a couple hours.
Billy got a pitch up and pops it up. He struck out on a pitch like that his first time up. Cruz fighting the sun. And now Yu Darvish has retired the first 13 Royals. Yu Darvish, that doesn't sound like a Japanese name, and it isn't. Darvish is short for Darvish Efat. You can add an E-P-H-A-T at the end of it. He is of Japanese and Iranian descent. His father is Iranian, met his mother when they were going to college in Florida, and they moved back to Japan. And then when Darvish became a professional, he just figured shortening his name would be easier on everybody. He had a 1.99 career ERA in Japan. He played for Trey Hillman, former Royals manager, for Hokkaido, and they won it all in 2006 and then lost in the championship in 2007 with Yu Darvish as the ace.
And their parents met at Eckerd College, of all places.
One and two on Moustakas. Now you remember when you played in Japan, the setup there for starters, what is it, every Monday is an off day?
Every Monday was off.
And you've got a 6-man rotation. So you pitch the same day the whole season, right?
Not necessarily, because their strategy there was the starting pitcher was a secret. Teams didn't know who was starting. They kept it close to their vest. Here in America, you know, you can tell the 5 starters who they're going to be ahead of time. But there, that was their big strategy. You know, I used to kind of crack up. No one's cracking up on the Royals hitters right now, but Yu is just dealing.
6 strikeouts in his second against Moustakas. I remember when Darryl May played for the Royals, and maybe his team was unique from the rest of the league, but he told me that a 6-man rotation with a day off Monday, and he knew the whole season that he pitched Wednesday. Every Wednesday he pitched.
But then they try to keep it a secret. And hitters would study 3 starting pitchers every night.
Really?
Yeah, it was a crack up. And I went out of respect to the hitters. I went and I fell asleep in some of the meetings sometimes. But, you know, they were so caught up on paralysis by analysis. I mean, they would study what the guy throws 1 and 2, 0 and 2, 3 and 2. And they would get up there and they would be thinking, and you could see them. They were thinking instead of reacting.
Kane fouled out to first in his first at bat, and there's a ground ball and a Gold Glove play by Adrian Beltre, who has 3 Gold Gloves on his mantle.
I thought that ball was by him. 2 hopper, short hop pick. This guy, it came up on him even. Look at that. Skills.
2 home runs already and 5 perfect innings from Darvish.
Yeah, he's really looked good. Now, outside of a couple of mistakes by Bruce, this was going to be a pitcher's duel. But they've hit a few homers off him. They got a little cushion. But the Royals are having a hard time finding a hole.
And all the outs so far almost exclusively from Darvish for whatever reason. Everything's been to the right side. Now, we just saw that great play by Adrian Beltre, but we've seen nothing but ground balls to first, to second base, fly balls to right field.
Yeah, Yu's on top of his game. He's executing, and he's trying to get those left-handed batters that are in the lineup against him to pull. And even when guys are swinging and missing, Darvish seems to be going towards first base to cover first. He's gotten a lot of outs there.
Now a little bit of a delay here as Mike Everett, and understandably so, maybe needed to go in and change his undershirt on a hot day. And we always focus on the catchers on a day like today with all that gear, and they're standing in the hot dirt. But they get to go back into the dugout and into the clubhouse in between innings, while the home plate umpire, he stands out there for all 18 half innings. So Mike Everett going down and cooling down as Josh Hamilton will lead off the 6th. Hamilton hit the 2nd Rangers home run of the day in the 3rd inning, jumping on the first pitch thrown by Bruce Chen, and there's been a lot of early in the count swinging by the Rangers today. One ball, one strike. Hamilton, even early in his career when he was putting up big numbers, if there was a knock on him, it was that his first at bat, however that went, would dictate at times the rest of the game. And so an at bat like he had in the 1st inning today, where he was called out on strikes on a pitch he didn't think was a strike and had some words for the home plate umpire, that might ruin the rest of his game. But he bounced back quickly with his home run in the 3rd against Chen, and now Bruce drops down and Hamilton fouls it away.
But I like to watch Hamilton set up because he's a very relaxed hitter. Watch him. He stands there and just puts that bat on his shoulder, and his fingers are loose, and he's just standing there. That's what you want. You want to be able to react quickly. That's what you do. You relax, 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 and then everything, when the ball comes to the plate, is going to tighten up for you. But you're quicker to react when you're loose. Time for a teaser way out of the zone here. Maybe a fastball out or a breaking ball, something way off. Ooh, good.
And Hamilton wouldn't go for it.
Good spot. Pena and Chin work very well together. In Bruce's last start, we went 8 innings. He said that Brian Pena was on everything I was thinking he was putting down. So that's one of the reasons why Bruce is so comfortable with Pena, is they think a lot alike, and it gives Salvi a day off during the week. It's quick to give Pena credit.
And got him with a curveball down and away. And for Bruce, his 5th strikeout, and the 2nd time he has fanned Josh Hamilton.
Okay, it's going to be the teaser away from him. Fastballs he's too quick on, but that slow breaking ball there got the job done.
And now Adrian Beltre, and he takes inside. Beltre just made a great play at 3rd for the final out of the bottom of the 5th. He is 0 for 2 at the plate, but he is coming off an outstanding stretch of 10 games where he hit .500 with 7 home runs, 15 RBIs, as in addition to hitting for the cycle for the 2nd time in his career. 2 balls, 1 strike. We might have the 2 best defensive third basemen in the American League in this series. Beltre, when he goes for it all, he goes down to his back knee.
Yeah,
2 and 2.
And we've seen him hit homers from one knee. Now watch this play here. Wow, I mean, that ball even came up, and if you miss that, that's a base hit all the way. But the fact that he's got such quick hands and very soft with those hands is able to make that look easy.
Pitch up. Alex all the way back. And the Rangers have their 3rd home run of the day. And for Adrian Beltre, it's his 28th of the season.
Okay, this pitch was meant for him to swing and miss. It was an elevated fastball that Bruce and Pena will use to try to get a strikeout. But man, Beltre, he went up and got it. The ball's up around his neck. And see, when the ball's elevated, all a hitter has to do is put a level swing on it, get the back underside of that ball, and just get that backspin. There's another one.
Oh my. Cruz hits it to the Royals Hall of Fame in left field after standing and watching it for a while. 4 home runs for the Texas Rangers, and back-to-back in the 6th inning.
Well, like I said before, Nelson Cruz and some of their hitters are very comfortable. Bruce is not pitching inside, knocking them off the plate enough. They're just sitting up there waiting for anything out over the plate. And they're already past their average of runs per game. This is a team that averages 5.16 runs per game per 9 innings.
That's the 8th time this season the Texas Rangers have hit back-to-back home runs. Bruce is back in with a strike to Michael Young, who's 0 for 2.
Yeah, Hamilton and Beltre went back-to-back yesterday in Cleveland. And when the Rangers, when they hit 4 home runs or more in a game, they're 15-0. I don't know if the Royals have a chance to come back in this one. We'll hope.
Abreu turns all the way around, throws out Young, and Hosmer is able to keep his foot on the bag, 2 away.
Okay, good arm by Abreu. Wow, for being a second baseman, it's his natural position. Man, he sure has a left side of the infield arm.
Lewis Coleman warming up in the left field bullpen. Bruce Chen giving up 6 runs on 6 hits, 4 home runs, and trying to give the Royals at least 6 innings. Murphy 2 for 2 with a run scored. No balls, 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes. Well, it's not because of a lack of strikes. He's thrown 98 pitches. 69 have been strikes. He's only thrown 29 balls. Maybe too many strikes to a team like this.
Too many. And like I said, to be effectively wild once in a while to right-handed batters when they've been hitting you big time with the home runs, you got to make them uncomfortable a little.
Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. You're throwing 70% strikes. It's pretty good.
But are they quality strikes?
But, and as you pointed out, especially on the home run to Beltre, he wasn't trying to throw a strike. But it's called a strike because Beltre takes a swing at it. Alex diving to the line to make a nice play.
Oh, that was nice. Gordon always looking to make that special play for a pitcher. That's why they love him.
Is Raymond Lucas from Clinton, Missouri. The Royals hit a home run in this inning. Raymond wins $400. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, that's worth $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. And Eric Hosmer taking a big swing and missing a Darvish pitch below the knees. Darvish has retired the first 15 Royals today with 6 strikeouts. And a slow breaking ball is hit right to Alt. He goes to the bag, and there's another out to the right side. One away in the 6th. Time for today's AT&T trivia question. We showed you Jurickson Profar's home run in his first major league at bat yesterday. Who is the only Royal to hit a home run in his first major league at bat? I know the answer to this one, and if you guess it, you really know your Royals baseball. Brian Pena to right field, and it's right at Cruz. 2 down in the 6th.
Yeah, just early count outs are falling into the favor of Darvish.
In addition to throwing 5 2/3 perfect innings, he's thrown 57 pitches.
I'm going to guess the mighty Quinn.
Outstanding guess, but not in his first big league at bat. He had 2 in his first big league game.
Okay.
Look at Darvish's pitch count, no more than 13. 57 and 5 2/3 innings. Johnny Giavotella takes a strike. He struck out swinging in the 3rd inning. A little birdie just flew into the booth and gave HUD a hint on the answer to our trivia question.
Sure do love the birds around here.
He was
a left-handed hitter,
and he was a hitting coach recently with a team in the American League Central Division. Here's another hint. He came to the Royals in the Rule 5 draft. Oh, he's just hitting the corners with all of his pitches. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 93 at the knees over the outside.
Yep, perfect spot.
Blocked by Soto. 2-2. I don't know if this means anything, but just looking at where the outs have been recorded so far, and everything is really tilted to the right side. First baseman, and this is there for either a ground ball or a pop-up. Mike Olt involved with 6 plays. Cruz in right 3. Second baseman Kinsler 1. And Beltre wants only 1 out, either to center field or the left side combined. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And of course, there's the 6 strikeouts. Do you make anything of that?
Might be a part of their game plan, because on swings that I've seen left-handed batters make and they missed so far today, I would see Darvish breaking to first. That tells me he's wanting those guys to roll over on pitches that way. So that could be a part of their game plan.
Could it mean that he's stronger to that quadrant of the strike zone? Oh, down and away to the righties, down and into the lefties?
I'm going to say yes. So far he's hitting his spots where he wants to.
And that's where Soto is set up. And it is down and away. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And if my pitch count is correct, this is the first time a Royals hitter has had a 3-ball count.
Here's where your dugout teammates are saying ball 4, base hit.
And it is ball 4. Wow.
Didn't miss by much. Soto sitting up right on that outside part of the plate. Oh. Guy's got a perfect game going, and
wow.
You can't give him that.
Look, here's the huge disclaimer. I really don't hope the Royals are the victim of a perfect game. But if that call is the difference between a perfect game and a no-hitter, I wouldn't want to be Mike Everett the rest of the day.
Right.
So a runner on for the first time and a strike to David Lowe. Now I bring this up every time. When a pitcher goes a long stretch without allowing any runners, it's an adjustment when he goes to the stretch for the first time. But that doesn't apply to Darvish because he's been pitching out of the stretch all day. Now he does have to deal with a base runner for the first time. And we've seen it before. Pitcher 4 perfect innings, 5 perfect innings, runner on, goes to the windup, and he's out of sorts for 2 or 3 hitters because he just hasn't been pitching out of the stretch all day. But Darvish has been pitching exclusively out of the stretch since the end of April. David Lowe hits it to first, and that is just foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The call on that pitch takes us back to the last homestand when Jeremy Guthrie was working on a no-hitter. Now that was in the hands of the official scorer, a very borderline play that was called a hit rather than an error, and now a borderline call from the home plate umpire. And Soto and Mike Everett are going at it. If you watch Soto, his head is going from side to side, and that's his way of talking over his shoulder to the home plate umpire. And Lowe off the end of the bat, and a base hit. That takes some heat off of the umpire. So there will be no perfect game. There will be no hitter today. The Royals have 2 on with 2 out.
Yep, that's all it takes sometimes when you got a game like Hughes having, where he's just abusing all the hitters, hitting his spots, and then borderline walk. And there's a kid getting another base hit. David Lowe. Squeaker.
Now, even though he doesn't have to change his position on the mound, this is when a pitcher is ripe for the plucking. Because even though Yu Darvish is a good pitcher and he's pitched in a lot of big games, there is a huge letdown when he loses a perfect game and he loses a no-hitter. And now the Royals, they're down by 6, but they have 2 on with the middle of the order coming up.
And really, the Royals have Darvish where they want him as far as knocking in runs with 2 outs. 34 of their last 48 runs have come with 2 outs.
Oh, and 2 on Abreu.
2 out rallies. And they'll need quite a rally to come back and get into this one. But the Royals have shown over the season that they are not willing to go easy. They keep attacking, they keep pressuring, they keep coming.
One ball, 2 strikes on Abreu.
You know, and you could talk about that characteristic in a team. That really will help you in a lot of ways, 2 out rallies. And it's a compliment to the manager, Ned Yost. He's got these guys saying, you know what, look, we don't give in, we don't give up. With 2 outs, that's when we pressure, that's when we really hurt our opponents. And it's worked for the Royals, and especially the past month that left.
Fouled away again. And that was a problem early in the season. The Royals had no shortage of base runners. They just couldn't cash them in, and especially with 2 outs. It's one of those statistics that's always attached to a good team. A high batting average with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
Yeah, and come from behind victories.
David Lowe is running. That's ball 4. So that's the 21st stolen base in 23 attempts against Darvish. And since Giovanni Soto has come to the Rangers, that's 17 for 17 when he's behind the plate.
So that's Lowe's first big league stolen base.
And stroked into right center field. Cruz misplayed it, and it'll roll to the wall. So the Royals get 2 runs. Abreu goes to third to make it 6-2. Another big hit for Tony Abreu in the last 2 days.
And just 2 more runs with 2 outs. I tell you, Tony Abreu, look at him. He's crowding the plate. He is all over that dish. He's right up on the plate. He's looking hitterish, saying, look, I'm going to hit anything you got. And Cruz took an interesting route to that ball. He came in instead of going back. He came in on it thinking it was going to be a sinking liner, when it ends up being a liner that had a little bit of a rise to it right by him. So in the inning started, Darvish was perfect. He walked David Lowe. No, he walked Gio. Lowe got the knock, and then Abreu cleaned him up.
And for Abreu, that's 9 RBIs in his 9 games with the Royals. And now he's at third for Alex Gordon. Alex had one of the few hard hit outs as Darvish was working on 5 2/3 perfect innings. Grounded out to the first baseman Olt in the 4th inning. He went sliding across the line to make the play. Alex has grounded out twice today. And there's the slow breaking ball at 70 miles an hour. No balls, 2 strikes. And Alex goes the other way. Murphy with a dive. And the ball, was it in his glove? His glove came off his hand. Alex has another double, his 45th of the year, and it's a 3-run 6th inning. Yeah, the ball was in the glove, and then the glove came off his hand.
Yep, he had it. He's lucky he didn't roll his wrist on that and get injured, but something has to give whenever the glove meets the ground at the same time and he turns over. So the glove fortunately rolled and not his wrist. Great effort.
Well, we were just saying the letdown of losing a perfect game on a borderline pitch, a no-hitter on a bloop, and now the Royals have scored 3, and Billy Butler's at the plate, and twice Darvish has gotten Billy to chase pitches that have been letter high, if not higher. Struck him out with a pitch way up in the 2nd inning, and then with a pitch up in the 5th, Billy flied to right field. And that pitch was up, drilled to left field. Murphy makes the play. But the Royals are back into the game with 2 outs and nobody on. A Giavotella walk. David Lowe singles. Tony Abreu hits a 2-run triple. Alex Gordon adds a double. And it's a 6-3 game. Royals baseball is brought to you by Panera Bread. Now with 24 KC Metro locations. Visit us online at PaneraKansas.com. And by AT&T Uverse, the new wireless receiver from AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/free your TV. Rethink possible. Royals with 3 in the bottom of the 6th, breaking up a perfect game and a no-hitter and a shutout. And now it's a 3-run game as the Royals make a Chevy call to the bullpen, and Lewis Coleman comes on after Bruce Chen went 6, gave up all 6 runs and 4 home runs, but 3 of the 4 were solo home runs. Giovanni Soto leads off. He hit the first of the 4. That was a 3-run shot in the 2nd inning. And Coleman misses high. Soto also flied to the warning track in deep left center field. That was in the 4th. There goes the bat. Look out.
I think everybody's okay. Pretty good chance he's not seeing that bat anymore. Unless it's just that special bat that you really love, you'll exchange one for that one. But apparently Soto says, you know what? I'm glad everybody's okay. You can keep it.
Yeah, there was one young Royals fan, maybe about 12 years old, young man who got hit on the arm, so he's going to walk up to first aid. Could have been a lot worse. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Right center field. Kane fighting the sun and wins the fight.
Communication's important. I got it. You see him yelling. Keeping his glove right there to help him. Just peeking over that glove with those glasses. Takes the glare away. Stays with it. Even if you do lose the ball in the sun at the last minute, it usually comes out. But the test is, can your eyeballs take it? Some guys will just give up after a while.
And we call them sunglasses, but the more appropriate word is glare glasses, because it just reduces the glare. When the ball is right on the sun, doesn't matter what you have on your eyes, you're going to lose the ball. It just makes the sun in the sky appear smaller.
Yeah, they're not welder's goggles.
Right. Those would be the ultimate flip down shades. Can you imagine a guy?
You wouldn't be able to see anything outside of that ball in the sun there, but look at the glare.
That was a great shot right there. I mean, that just showed you how, you know, on a day like today, the sun just seems so much bigger than it actually is because of the glare around the sun.
And that's a term, high sky, that you hear in baseball. It's a high sky today. Oh, really? It's always high. But when there's dark blue,
no clouds,
makes it
to
tough.
Provide some depth.
Right.
Mike Olt struck out twice against Bruce Chen. And he's 3 balls, 2 strikes against Lewis Coleman.
Okay, this is quite a contrast for the Rangers hitters here. After facing Bruce from the left side, now you're facing a right-hander that comes down from the sidearm position from the right side. So they're definitely, their eye levels changing a little bit here with Coleman. Fastballs on the corners, sliders if he can to sweep him away. Hasn't pitched since August 26th when the team was at Boston.
And a good fastball away, strikes out Olt for a 3rd time today. Parents, there's still time to sign your kids up for Sluggers Blue Crew, presented by U.S. Toy. Members receive a batting practice jersey, a backpack, water bottle, ticket vouchers, front of the line access for every Sunday fun run, and much more, all for just $20. You can join right now at Royals.com or go to the U.S. Toy Store that's located in Leawood. 0-1 on Ian Kinsler, the former MU Tiger. He has hit the ball in the air 3 times today, 0 for 3. A pop out to second, a pop out to first, and a fly out to left. And we were talking about Jurickson Profar's Major League debut yesterday in Cleveland. He was in the lineup because Kinsler was scratched with a stiff back. So Profar wasn't supposed to be in the lineup, but he answered the call with a home run in his first Major League at-bat and then a double in his second at-bat. Moustakas plays the ground ball over to Hosmer, and a scoreless top of the 7th inning for Lewis Coleman. And on a beautiful sunny day at Kauffman Stadium on Labor Day, in special recognition of the military, USAA now presents the singing of God Bless America by Corey Henson.
God bless America, land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountain to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
All right, Royals fans, stay up.
When the Royals came up in the 6th, they hadn't had a single base runner against Yu Darvish. Darvish retired the first 17 batters today. But Johnny Giavotella walked with 2 outs in the 6th. David Lowe singled. Tony Abreu hit a 2-run triple. Alex Gordon had an RBI double. And then Billy Butler lined to the warning track in left field. So the Royals nearly scored 4 in the 6th against Darvish. And now Mike Moustakas in the 7th, 2 balls and no strikes. Moustakas struck out looking in the 2nd and swinging in the 5th. Very high in the air to center field. Hamilton has been battling that sun all day and able to get his hand in front of his eyes.
You already know, though.
Take some of the sun away. Moustakas is 0 for 3. All right. Who is the only Royal to hit a home run in his first major league at bat? I believe we go back to 1995. Is that correct? John Nunnally at Kauffman Stadium against the Yankees. A Rule 5 pick.
We even got it on film for you. He went dead center. I remember him. Good player. Good little hitter. Compact.
Yeah, that begs the next question. How many Rule 5 picks have hit a home run in their first major league at bat? I mean, because that's typically somebody who played in A ball the year before, maybe Double-A.
Team goes out and takes a chance on him. They got to be on their roster the whole year. That's a good question.
1-1 on Lorenzo Cain. 0 for 2 today, and has made a great play in center field, running down a ball hit by Elvis Andrus in the first. Two and one. Beltre. He'll throw from foul territory and in time. That's a second good play he's made on Cain today.
Well, in order to get an accurate throw to first, you have to have a good throwing base. And he always seems to get to his feet quickly. And he gets him in a position where he can make the throw. Watch him, how quick he gets set. He's set. Now all he has to do is just throw over the top, and that keeps the ball straight, and he's as good as they get on that play.
Now, most fielders field the ground ball. They step, and then they follow through and they throw. As you said, he gets to a wide base, and then there's no stride. It's just all hips and shoulders.
It's years of experience and knowing the arm angle.
Hosmer breaks his bat. Shallow center field. Hamilton comes up to make the play. 8 pitches for Darvish as he gets to the Royals in the 7th. Texas leads 6-3.
Around the league, and Cleveland's won 7 of 12 against Detroit this year, and they are up in the 9th inning. Baltimore shuts out Toronto, continuing to play great baseball and putting pressure on the Yankees, who now with that score only have a 1.5 game lead in the American League East. Tampa in the mix too. LA and red hot Oakland. Know a lot about the A's after this series. Boston, Seattle, Minnesota, and Chicago. Guys, back to you.
This is the run, or the beginning of the run, that we've all expected from the Tigers to take over the Central Division, but Chicago hanging tough. And the Royals will be facing the White Sox after this series with the Rangers. We'll be heading to Chicago, and it's a pretty remarkable stretch the Royals are in right now. And when they are done with that Chicago series, that'll be 9 out of 11 series for the Royals against first and second place teams. At least that's where that team was when the series began. And look at how the Royals have done. They had a losing series against Texas, tied the Orioles, then they swept the White Sox, lost a series to the Rays. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Andrews. They lost a series to the Red Sox, but then swept the Tigers and lost to Minnesota. So their trouble has been not with the first or second place teams. It's been against teams like Boston and Minnesota. As Andrews hits it into the left field corner and foul. So to sum it up, so far during this stretch against first and second place teams, the Royals are 14-8. The other teams, Boston and Minnesota, they're 2-5.
Yeah, and that makes it interesting for us when it's on paper like this, that we can try to see what the numbers add up to be. But in baseball, day to day, any team can beat another team. It depends on the role you're on, and that nice strikeout there by Coleman. Andrus, he didn't want to go. But that's a good pitch there. When Coleman's on the corners with his fastball, it sets up that good sweeping slider. He's nails. Hard to hit.
Andrus is probably thinking, since he's the shortstop and he's playing in the middle of the field, probably wondering why he was called on that pitch. But that pitch was not called when Darvish was working on his perfect game, and ball 4 to Johnny Giavotella.
You know, Mike Everett, he gave him a few words. I mean, let him talk, and then didn't have to throw him out. That's good.
One ball, 1 strike on Josh Hamilton. So the Royals have 6 outs to go on offense. And Coleman needs to keep the Rangers right here. He is face 4, retired 4 with 2 strikeouts. 2 balls and 1 strike against Hamilton. And now 2-2.
Hamilton's got a nice daytime batting average at 328. That's 3rd in the league. Daytime hitting. They keep a stat for everything.
That's because of his light blue eyes, remember?
Yeah. He doesn't use glasses to hit with, and might have needed him on that. Good pitch.
3 strikeouts. And we're just showing you his career numbers against the Royals. He's done some things against KC in his career that have been impressive, but his career batting average is below 230 against the Royals, and 3 strikeouts today.
3 for Coleman. I see he got some good movement on that one there.
Don't you remember that report last year? Josh Hamilton, who was having difficulty in the day games, and there was an actual eye doctor who said that people with light blue eyes have more difficulty with their vision on bright sunny days than somebody who has a darker colored eye.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I never heard that.
Beltre's 1 for 3 with a home run today. And I can attest to that. You've been through one photo shoot with me outside, and you get those lights and the sun in our eyes so they get the right angle. And I have light blue eyes, and everybody else can just stand there with their eyes wide open and smile. Meanwhile, my eyes are just falling out of my head.
They were, and a lot of water was pouring out of your body too, as hot as it was that day. Coleman, I'll tell you, he can be really effective as far as the strikeouts go when he's throwing strikes early and then finishes guys off, whether they're right-handed or left-handed, with his slider. Here it comes here.
Got him looking. 2 excellent innings for Lewis Coleman. He strikes out the side in the 8th. And 4 strikeouts in his 2 innings.
Ooh, he's got it going. Beltran's got to go.
You can follow the Royals with the MLB.com at-bat 12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Just text at-bat to 31826 or visit Royals.com for details. Darvish is out. Mike Adams is in, and a Chevy called to the bullpen. So Adams typically their right-handed setup man. 2.45 ERA in 52 games. With Pena, Giavotella, and Lowe coming up. And Adams throws strike 1.
Now he's got some good stuff. 2-seam sinking fastball, slider. He'll cut his fastball a little bit, so he's got 3 pitches off of that. And he's got a changeup. But a lot of life to his pitches.
One and one. Pena flied to right and struck out in his 2 at-bats today. Mitch Moreland is now at first base, so Mike Olt is out. Moreland, the more experienced defender over there, so Rangers going with an upgrade as we get into the 8th inning, although Mike Olt was very impressive at first base. Didn't look like a player out of position at all. One and two on Brian Pena.
Tell you, Adams, he really does fall off that mound of the first base side. You watch him, though. He keeps his front side closed. Got a good leg kick. Comes up. And he really pulls off of his glove side. And he falls off to the right side quite a bit. But he's able to keep himself down to the strike zone. He's a tall guy. 6'5". And he's deceptive, and he's hard to pick up the ball from.
2 and 2. And a full count with Giavotella on deck. Adams traded to the Rangers last year from the Padres. Another player that has made it to the big leagues without being drafted. An undrafted free agent by the Milwaukee Brewers 11 years ago out of Texas A&M at Kingsville. And Bryan gets it through the right side for a leadoff single. And now Johnny Giavotella, and as promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Johnny Giavotella walked with 2 outs in the 6th inning. The Royals hadn't had a base runner yet. David Lowe with a blue pit. Tony Abreu with a 2-run triple. And then Alex Gordon drove in a run with a double, turning a 6-0 game into a 6-3 game. And that's where we are now in the bottom of the 8th. And Giavotella almost ran into a pitch as he was trying to drop down a bunt.
Adams been tough on righties, a .229 average, just 1 homer. He's only given up 1 homer all year. Lefties just hit .261 off him. But that good hard sinker keeps the ball down.
Two and 0. The walk to Giavotella came after Darvish retired the first 17 Royals. He had a perfect game with 2 outs in the 6th inning, and Giavotella walking on a very close pitch. The Rangers weren't happy with the call, but then Lowe singled, and the Royals were off and running in a 3-run 6th. 2 balls, 1 strike. Three balls, 1 strike. Adams has really dragged this game down here, working very slowly and not throwing strikes to the benefit of the Royals. And our Sprint You Call It question for today: who will win the West? Pretty close vote between the Rangers and the A's, but 38% going with Texas. And we thank you for texting in today. 27% still think that the Angels are going to come back, even though they're 8.5 back. And Giavotella, that was a pretty hittable pitch, but the Royals need base runners. And Adams, who does not have good control in this inning, Giavotella is going to make him throw back-to-back strikes.
Just because it's 3-2, the count, nobody out, doesn't mean Pena's going to be going. Try to come back like that, you don't want to strike him out, throw him out. You got nobody out, a chance to get an inning going here.
Pena started to go and he stopped, and Giavotella hits it into left center. Pena rounds second, but he'll hold, and the tying run will come to the plate with nobody out.
Did you see his bluff, his steal, his first 2-3 steps?
It was legit.
Yeah, but he just wanted to give the appearance that he was taking off.
But that was about 20 steps and about 7 feet.
And Gio put a nice deposit in left center. Like to see the Royals work the count, get into a good hitting position, and continue to test the Rangers, as Ron Washington has a lot of respect for the Royals, like all managers that play them, because they know that they can beat you. In their offense, they're good. They're not one of the easiest outs in the lineup, I'll tell you. The Royals, they're constantly been up in the top 10 all year in hitting.
Now now David Lowe, who has led off in 3 straight games. He singled and scored with a stolen base in the 6th inning, breaking up the no-hitter. And in his 3 games with the Royals, hitting .385. That's 5 hits and 13 at-bats. There's Pena down at second base, Giovitelli at first.
So maybe you work him over on a bunt here with nobody out. Try to get back even closer.
Adams throws inside, ball 1.
Kansas City Royals offense is 4th in the American League in hitting at .267. Red Sox, Detroit Tigers, Angels, and the Rangers. We'll see. Actually, they're 5th. Those are the teams ahead of them.
And Lowe rips it to Moreland. And the Rangers do turn the double play. There was a little confusion for a moment as to whether Moreland caught it on the fly or not.
First base umpire Laz Diaz, he was right on the call. He made the save sign right away, as he could see. I don't know how he did. He's behind the first baseman, but Moreland picked it. But Moreland, you got to give him credit for going ahead and not trying to sell that he caught it. It stayed right with that double play. Then he gets back over to first.
But he can't hit it much harder. So it's Pena at third with 2 outs. And again, Moreland just came into the game for defensive purposes, and he answers the call as Abreu steps in with a runner at third. Abreu's driven in 2 more runs today. And Adams is in with strike 1.
I like how Abreu is right on the plate. He's able to reach any of those pitches on the outside part of the plate, but he tells me that he's looking to pull the ball. When you get up on the plate like that, you're inviting a pitch to come in that middle inside right there.
Oh, and 2. And it hasn't been a large sample size, but what we've seen from Abreu, he is very comfortable hitting with 2 strikes. He's gotten some big hits with 2 strikes. Drove in his first run yesterday, the first of 3, when he was down in the count 0-2. Still 0-2. In there at shortstop today, Alcides Escobar getting the day off. Escobar, when he gets back in there, will try and shake off an 0 for 20. Right field near the line. Cruz, a long run that will drop. It's a 6-4 game. Cruz throwing it all the way to the plate for some reason, and that got Abreu to take off for second. So what looked like a bad play turns into a good play as the Rangers get out of the inning. The Royals score just 1. Uverse, reverse, replays.
Yep. Unfortunately, Bruce couldn't keep him in the yard. That's what they were able to get out on a big lead against the Angels, against the Royals, because of the elevation of Bruce's pitches. He was laying them up there, and they were laying them over the fence.
Lewis Coleman came on in the 7th inning in relief of Bruce Chen. He has faced 6, retired 6, and struck out 4, including the last 3. Trying to get the Royals to the bottom of the 9th in a 2-run game. Nelson Cruz, Michael Young, David Murphy coming up. That's kind of a wacky play for the final out of the bottom of the 8th inning.
That was. Abreu made the right decision. Initially, he stopped and was going to go back to first, and he saw the throw was elevated a little bit. What for?
Well, that might go back to Nelson Cruz. And now Pena and Cruz pushing one another. So the bench is clear. Here come the bullpens. And that might have something to do with all the time it took Nelson Cruz to get out of the batter's box when he homered in the 6th inning.
It could have. But you know what? When that happens, see, that's the home run he hit off of Bruce. Some pitchers get offended, but that was not off of Coleman.
No, but that could be one teammate picking up another teammate. Bruce Chen is extremely popular in the Royals clubhouse. He's one of the good guys in the game. You don't need to stand there at home plate that long against Bruce Chen. I mean, you're not that good.
I agree. So then when what happens right here happens when you're up on the plate like that and you get hit, then you just take your base. What are you going to do? If you want a piece of him, go get him.
I'm with you 100%. If you're going to charge him out, don't stand there and wait for somebody to grab you. Go get him.
Stand in front of me, get me, hold me back, you know, whatever. If you want him, go get him.
And he's still over there crying at first base. So what we've learned today is that it's okay to stand at home plate and show up the pitcher, who's one of the real good guys in the game and has been around a long time. But it's not okay to take a fastball off the back of his belt, which didn't hurt, I'm sure. It could have hurt a lot worse if it was in his ribs or in his back. So now that Nelson Cruz is done, we can resume the game. Joel, your thoughts?
Well, no thought.
Michael Young to deep left field, and that's 5 home runs for the Texas Rangers today. And look at how fast Michael Young is going around the bases. He might catch Nelson Cruz, who's still making it all about him. Look at that. Well, there was one pro running the bases, and the Rangers have an 8-4 lead in the 9th inning.
Just the 5th home run off of Michael Young's bat.
That's how you run the bases when you hit a home run.
Yep. Put your head down and run. Okay, he hits the ball and he got it elevated. He knew, but he took off right away. Good solid trot after some solid contact.
So the Rangers back out to a And a devastating home run hit by Michael Young in the 9th inning. The Royals had gotten back into the game after being down 6-0, but now it's 8-4. Joel, you're about to make a comment before Michael Young's home run this inning.
Yeah, that was kind of rude of him. You know, I was just thinking back to Jake Peavy hitting Billy Butler and finding out the next day, this is one of the last homestand, that both clubhouses agreed that Billy had sat in the box a little too long, chucked his bat towards the batter's box, or the on-deck circle, I should say, and that both sides understood that there was a repercussion for that, and Jake Peavy took care of the business the next day. It wasn't him, but he was standing up for his teammates. And, you know, Lewis Coleman, if that's indeed what he did, and of course he'll say that he let the ball go or just got away from him, but if Lewis Coleman is standing up for Bruce Chen and his teammates, he will earn a lot of brownie points from his teammates. But why is it okay for Peavy, very established, to be able to throw at Butler, but Nelson Cruz and the Rangers, who have won back-to-back American League Championship Series, why have they been wrong? I mean, if their guy went in there, right, and stared too long, don't you take care of that?
Yeah, that's an ego thing. That's an ego thing that right when you get hit is when you say, okay, I'll take first base. I understand you're frustrated, and you just go on and play the game. Now, if it really boiled me to where I was at the point where I want to go get him, I'm going to take off. Catcher's not going to be able to grab me, and I'm going to go out and get me some with that pitcher if I want him. I don't take 3 steps out and say, hold me back.
Alex, another sliding play in left field, and both of them against David Murphy.
And Murphy, he stopped in between first and second base. Like, man, you're even catching my doinkers. Hard charge in, takes a peek down, sees where the fielder is. Caught that right off the ground.
Hey, Hud, part of it, I think, too, is when you are a championship caliber team, or teams that have been there recently, and I'm talking about teams like the Yankees and even the Red Sox, even though they're a mess right now, the big boys, so to speak.
Yep.
You have a swagger, and you have a belief that you're not going to get pushed around. And I'm not saying that Cruz wouldn't have that same reaction if it were, you know, Rafael Soriano on the Yankees. But if you're the Royals and you've been down for so many years, at a certain point you've got to be able to stand up for yourself and say, you know, we can hang with the big boys, and we have that swagger too, and we're not going to get pushed around.
No, I like everything that happened there except for the way Cruz took it. I mean, you know, hits him. If you get hit in the leg or the back, I got hit a lot of times. Teams are after me sometimes, and I knew it. And I would just take off to first base, and if it really bothered me, I would bear down on the infielder at second base if there was a ground ball. And that's how I would pay back. And I didn't want to cause a delay in the game or anything like that, or make it a point of me. Why would you hit me? I'm a tough guy. Yeah, getting away, whatever. That's just a waste of time. You make up your mind right away when it happens to go to first or go to the mound. And if you go to the mound, you're jeopardizing your team and the other team of guys getting hurt. So it's not wise.
Hey, does anyone think that the bullpens coming out for these things is kind of silly? Because really they never have anything to do with it anyway. It just ends up being a sprint. Who can be the fastest reliever to get to the mound, and then they just stand there and watch it.
It is. I remember I was playing left field one time. We had a bench clear, and I ran over and I held the door closed for their bullpen. I held it shut. I held it. And they all finally the door came flying open, and I hid behind the door. They didn't even know who was holding it. Just let them go, man.
Hey, we will be talking about all this on Boulevard Royals Live and the rough start for Bruce Chen. Very impressive first appearance for Yu Darvish against the Royals, and we'll talk about what went well for him and how the Royals were finally able to get through, reaction from Ned Yost and much more. And I am wondering, guys, I don't know if anybody saw, did Bill Fisher move out of that bullpen or not?
I don't know if he did or not.
I mean, I would not expect him to come running in. But, you know, Bill's been around this game a long time. He's earned the right to just kind of hang out there and watch the festivities that unveiled down by the mound, or lack thereof.
Ball 1-2. Mitch Moreland, who's batting for the first time. There he is in the middle of the screen after Steve Foster was named the special assistant and minor league pitching instructor to general manager Dayton Moore. So Bill Fisher, as well as AAA pitching coach Doug Henry, And Double-A pitching coach Larry Carter will finish off the season as the Royals bullpen coach. The question becomes, what if the roles were reversed? What if Alex Gordon stood at home plate and watched his home run against Yu Darvish? And if the Rangers felt that that was uncalled for and they came back and hit Alex around the belt, by the way, would that be okay? Is it okay if you were to reverse the roles? But I think Joel brings up a good point. I mean, maybe the Royals have to earn their stripes in that regard and say, you know, hey, we're one of 30 major league teams. We may not have the same record that the Texas Rangers do, but if we feel that's uncalled for, you know, we're going to stick up for our teammate. But I'll bet if you went and watched all 22 of Cruz's home runs this year, there'd be quite a few. I mean, I've seen replays with the walking through the batter's box thing.
He'll have to understand that you know, that's going to be part of it, especially maybe against the Royals. I don't know about other teams.
Abreu tried to grab it with his bare hand, and Ian Kinsler has an infield single. Let's take a look at today's Toyota League leaders. And speaking of the Rangers, who have had an excellent year, they have the third best record in the major leagues. And Ron Washington going for his 507th career win today as manager of the Rangers. And if he accomplishes that, he will have the second most all time in that franchise. Right now he's tied for second with the late Johnny Oates. The all-time leader is Bobby Valentine, who spent a long time as manager of the Texas Rangers before moving on to the Mets, then to Japan, and now at the Red Sox. And Ron Washington is 75 wins away from tying Bobby Valentine. I think he'll get there.
Yes, he's had a tremendous run. But you know, talking, you said you Darvish. Now, if he gives up a home run and a guy watches it on you, he probably is not going to do anything about that, because in Japan there was no retaliation. Hitters could hit a home run and do a somersault, a backflip in the box, and won't run the bases, and there would be no, they wouldn't throw at you. It's just a different game over there. I used to crack up seeing different American guys that would hit homers and do these wild gyrations at the plate, throw their hands in the air and all that. And I used to say, wow, that guy's going to get drilled. And they said, no, we don't play that here. You can do what you want.
Long run for Lorenzo Cain, and he makes another good play today. Rangers come up with a big home run off the bat of Michael Young, and the Royals are down by 4 to the bottom of the ninth. Kansas City Royals. They may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation. Ryan Lefevre with Rex Hudler and Joel Goldberg at Kauffman Stadium on a sunny Labor Day, along with director Steve Kurtenbach, producer Joe Lavero, associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson. The producer of Royals Live is TJ McGinnis, and the rest of our great Fox Sports Kansas City crew. Joe Nathan on to pitch for the Rangers. 28 out of 29 in save opportunities. Nathan does not have a save this year against the Royals, but in his career, 37, all those with the Minnesota Twins. It'll be Alex Gordon, Billy Butler, and Mike Moustakas in the bottom of the ninth inning. Joe Nathan, this is a crazy stat. Joe Nathan was 37 out of 41 in save opportunities against the Royals. So that's pretty easy math. 37 save, 4 blown saves. But all 4 of his blown saves, the Twins eventually won those games.
Boy, you're living right.
So even when he blows a save, his team wins. The Royals have never beaten Joe Nathan.
Nope, he's been good with his live sinking fastball. He cuts it and curveball and changeup.
Billy is 0 for 3. Made one of the big outs in the game today. He hit one right on the nose as the Royals were rallying against Darvish in the bottom of the 6th, and Murphy was able to run it down in deep left field. Now, if that ball gets over Murphy's head, the Royals score a 4th run in the inning, and that was after Darvish started the game with 5 2/3 perfect. And looking down at the scorecard, HUD, I see 2 plays that really stand out. That one, which put an end to the Royals' rally in the 6th. And then in the 8th inning against Mike Adams, Pena and Giavotella reached, and then David Lowe hit a shot to the right side that looked like a base hit. And Moreland made a nice pick over there and turned that into a double play and turned that inning around. The Royals got just the 1 run.
You know, they got back in it. They were threatening till that play you mentioned. Took the wind out of their sails, and you know that's another good managerial move by Ron Washington. He got Olt out there, and he took him out and brought in
Andrews. Jumps, lands, throws anyway, and then goes down to his knees and staggers to get up. There was a lot going on with Elvis Andrus on that play.
I don't know why he just didn't put it in his pocket. Save all the dramatics. Because Billy, once a shortstop tries to make that throw where you jump in the air and you can't get a grip on it, then it's pretty much over. But then he tried to reload. They couldn't find the handle, couldn't get a good throw off, and then he leaps high, lands on his feet, and then tries to throw it again. And Billy, he's not the quickest, but he's not that slow. But that'll be an infield hit.
And now Nathan throws a strike to Mike Moustakas. Well, maybe the key to beating Joe Nathan is to get him in a non-save situation.
Maybe that might be the key, but we got to get a big hit here.
Long run for Beltre and for Soto, and it lands in the Rangers dugout. And Moustakas adds off of Moreland's glove. Butler will go first to third as Moustakas and Butler pick up their first hits of the game. 2 on with 1 out.
Okay, Moreland looked like he was going to try to field that and throw it before he got it. He stayed away from it. Billy said, I can make it to third on that.
Ball 1-2, Lorenzo Cain. 0 for 3 today, twice the victim of Gold Glove plays at third base by Adrian Beltre. And Cain's made 2 good plays of his own in center field, both against Elvis Andrus. You know, there's been a lot of guys picking on guys today.
What do you mean?
Both of Cain's good plays were against Andrus. Both of Gordon's sliding plays in left field were against Murphy. And Cain lost a couple of base hits on good plays by Adrian Beltre.
Hey, you know, when somebody robs you of a hit, you go out there on defense and you say, look, don't even hit it near me as you're out. I'm going to rob you. That's a common courtesy around the league.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Right to Andrus. So Cain hits it hard again. This time he grounds into a game-ending double play. And the Texas Rangers improved to 26 games above 500. That's their 80th win of the year. So they hit 5 home runs today. Soto, Hamilton, Beltre, Cruz, and Young. There's Michael Young. That was the backbreaker in the 9th inning. And the Rangers take game 1, 8-4.